Hello YouTube! Welcome back to the Every Closet. My name is Stephanie, and I've been running an online reselling business of used clothing for the last 5 years now. Wow, I'm getting old. This channel is to share everything I've learned so far about clothes and reselling and entrepreneurship with all you lovely humans, and to basically have a little community of coworkers but here on the internet. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in or you'd like to be a part of, then hit subscribe down below and join us on this little crazy adventure train of alternative income sources and lols. In my last video, I talked about things that I'm still doing from my old content, from the old stuff I used to talk about, things that I'm still using to this day. And one of the main things that I do still use in my business is Primelister. I wanted to talk in that video about why I still use it and what it's good for, and then the video became 45 minutes long. So this is a separate video, just all about why I still use Primelister, what I use it for, and what's new with it, because I did used to only use it for cross-listing, and since then they've come out with an automation tool, and so now I use it for both, which is fantastic in my opinion. So you know I use Primelister if you've seen my videos from 2, 3, or even 4 years ago, and I liked it then and I like it now. In fact, now I'd refer to it as one of the 4 things that I cannot run my business without. So I knew this had to be its whole own separate video because we're trying to keep things concise nowadays for y'all's viewing pleasure. So I'm going to talk about what Primelister is, what services it offers, how it's helped my business over the past 4 years, and why I'd choose it over some of the other software that I've tried in the past. So what even is Primelister, Stephanie, and how does it relate to online reselling? Fantastic questions. I signed up for Primelister in 2021, so over 4 years ago, and in that entire span of time since then, I have not paused or stopped or suspended my subscription to Primelister since then. I have been subscribed and using it the entire time. Originally, I only used it for cross-listing between platforms and inventory management online. Both are super useful features that we'll get into. But in 2022 or 3, timeline is fuzzy for me, they added in a Poshmark specific automation tool. So if you are on Poshmark, you know you need to share your listings to get them seen. You need to do little annoying things like community shares and following other closets and stuff that is just you sitting there clicking your screen that no business owner should really be spending their time doing. So in came bots, and there were a lot of different bots that we used for this. But when Primelisters came out, I liked having it all in one system for my cross-listing, my inventory management, and the robot automation tools. And both of these tools can be accessed from their online browser website, or you can download the app and you can fiddle with it on there. So if you have a login, it'll work on both those things. Say you want to manage your inventory on your computer mostly, but then you're away and something sells, you want to delist it from being away, you could just pull out your phone and do it from there. Same with adjusting your sharing settings or anything like that. So that's ultra convenient that it has both of those and that they're connected. Let's briefly talk about the cross-listing tool. So in my business, and I highly recommend you use it this way too, doubles as inventory management online. I couldn't even tell you which of those two functions I need it for most. I need both. I need them very much. In this old video up here somewhere, Ethan actually went over the step-by-step process of how to sign up for the Poshmark cross-listing tool, how to use it, the functions, how to add the Chrome extension to your browser, and how to make it function like that. And actually not much has changed since then. So this video does still hold up even years later. There might be 1 or 2 new features or updates or things, but this is still pretty much how you use it. So we're not going to talk a lot about how you use it, but we are going to talk about the basics of it. I'm also going to be coming out with a video like this one, but for the automation tool. So it'll go over how to set it up, how to connect your closet, how to use it, what settings I use, and why. So we're going to be going over that in a future video. So the Crosslister tool, it's added to your internet browser extensions. I've used it for my Poshmark Canada closet, my Poshmark US closet, my eBay store, and I've even done some Facebook Marketplace listings on there. So once you add that extension, it can communicate between the stores or between Primelister and the stores. So you can upload one of your listings onto your Primelister inventory from any of those platforms, and then you can cross-list it to another platform. You can delist it once it sells on that platform from the other platforms, and it keeps track of all of that for you, which is a godsend. So from my inventory page on the app or on the website, I can cross-list, relist, delist, anything basically for managing my inventory and whether or not it's for sale on all my various platforms. So if, say, I sold something on my US closet and I go click that listing in my inventory in Primelister, I say delist from Poshmark Canada, then it will show up as not for sale on Poshmark Canada. If I click instead remove from Marketplace, it will take that listing down entirely off of Poshmark Canada. And it depends how you're running your business, whether you want to do one or the other. I would just say the only option I don't use is remove from inventory. That button means you remove it from your Primelister inventory altogether. And if you do that, you lose your data about it. And that's one of my favorite things about this system is that it carries the data forward. We had 2 employees, then there were, 4 different people with their, hands in the bucket, touching the same things. And so mistakes get made or miscommunications happen. Even if you're one person, miscommunications happen between me and me all the time. These are my inventory, and say 381 sold, the same inventory method we've always had. We create a new 381 and then it goes in this bin. So what Primelister does for me when I don't delete things from the inventory system is it has for me every item that I've ever had as 381, and I can search by that SKU number. You can search by title, you can search by sold or not, or recently in. You can sort your inventory in so many different ways. And again, when I don't delete it from the inventory, but instead just delete it off of the marketplace or market is not for sale, that way I still have all that data going backwards. And that can help too for things like, oh, I've sold this brand before. What did I sell that for again? It's just the more data, the better, or at least I think so. Perhaps I'm a nerd, but I love it, and then it doesn't take up any extra space on notebooks or my brain or my phone storage, and it's just all on the cloud through Primelister. And once a year we also do an inventory check where I make sure everything is numbered as it should be, everything that's listed online exists in one of these boxes or hanging or as a shoe, whatever. We do that about once a year, and the literal way I do that is using this Primelister inventory system. I go there, I search by SKU, I go from 1 to 2,000, and I go, it says 1 should be this. Is it this? Yes, it is. And you move on. It is a useful thing to do about once a year. So I wouldn't be able to do that without Primelister. I don't know how else I would manage it. We had to move our offices twice in the last 2 years, and without Primelister keeping what everything is on the internet and me just moving around the physical boxes, I would have been screwed in terms of keeping track of what is where. So that's probably my favorite thing about it, although cross-listing is invaluable. You don't want to have to manually cross-list everything, especially uploading images. It takes so much time. Cross-listing with a software saves I think it takes about a third or even a quarter of the time as it would to do it manually. And we're all about saving time here. Those are the reasons I use the cross-listing and the inventory system. Let's talk about the automation tool. My absolute favorite thing about the Primelister automation tool is that I've never had to set it up again or restart it. I have chosen to adjust settings, but it's never stopped sharing. I even took 2 months off in 2024, right before our wedding, where I didn't touch my closets at all. And Primelister was still sharing the same amount that I asked it to, still relisting as I asked it to. And so I was still getting sales. So I basically wouldn't work. And then if I got a sale, I'd go package and ship it. And that was it. So that was amazing. I don't think I could have done that with other automation tools. Not without touching it at all. So that is fantastic. Originally, when I got the Primelister automation tool, I tested out a few different ways I could set it up in terms of when to share my listings, how often to relist, when to do community shares, etc., etc. And I toyed around with that for the first few months. And then since then, I have not adjusted those settings. And it has just kept working for me. So that's by far and away, that's the most impressive thing about this tool to me, is that like when you say set it and forget it, that's actually true for this one. I don't even think I've touched the automation part of the website in over 8 months because I haven't had to. So when I was using both an automation tool and Primelister just as cross-listing, I was content to keep doing that, because I don't like changing things. But when they came out with the automation tool, I was already kind of flagging on my current automation tool, and I'd been with Primelister for a few years already, and I knew that they had great customer service. So I went for it and I stopped my other one, and now I'm just thrilled that I can have my cross-listing, inventory management, and all of my automation on one system, and that I don't have to switch between apps or anything like that. And I'm glad now that I have just one software and that it does the best job for all three of those functions. So that is sick. So my favorite thing about Primelister, the way it's helped my business the most, is just its consistency and the peace of mind it gives me. Just all that extra mental load stuff that I don't want to have to deal with. It has also, of course, helped me free up some of my time, which is what all this is for anyway. You don't want to manually cross-list, so you have a cross-lister that does 90% of the work for you, so you can do it faster to free up your time. And same with, you don't want to share your closet manually, so you have an automation tool to share and to relist and to send offers to likers so that you don't have to, and you can spend your time sourcing or finding new consignment clients or taking photos of inventory or other things that robots can't do. Free up my time so that I can get more done in a day every single day, which is really what it's all about. With reselling is maximizing how many things you can process and how good the things you're processing are. That's the two pillars of reselling, I would say. It helps so much with the how many things I can process. And that's invaluable to me and my business. It's helped free up my time better than other tools because it uses the cloud without any input from me. So my computer doesn't have to be on, my phone doesn't have to be on. It's via the internet as far as my technological knowledge goes. So as long as Primelister's still up and running as a thing out there, which it always has been, then it's still sharing the way I asked it to share. It's still relisting when I asked it to, which is exactly what you want in an automation tool. You do not want to have to hold the robot's hand and drag the robot along hey, do your thing now, robot. By you not having to touch it means that it's completely something taken off your plate. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do it. It is being done, and you can count on that. Another thing about the tool that has helped my business is it's helped me run little experiments about sharing and about automation for optimizing. So, for example, when I first got it, for the first 2 months, I shared X amount of listings per day at these times. And then I switched the times, or I would switch the amounts or frequency or whatever. And then I could see how that impacted the activity and the sales on my closet. That's especially useful with the offers to likers function. So I've tried offering 10%, 15%, 20%, and the click-through rate or acceptance rate based on those offers. So it's helped me fine-tune my business and get some data on what is and isn't working. Another way it's helped is by actually letting me choose when during the day listings can be shared. So I'm on the West Coast, which means a lot of the East Coasters are up before I'm even awake. 4 a.m. my time is 7 a.m. Toronto time, and that's when a lot of people are up. They start their day, they roll over, grab their phone, and scroll on Poshmark. And so if I'm asleep because it's 4 a.m., I want things to be sharing at that time because I know people are a bit more active in the mornings, and then I have a few other bumps during the day and a few lull periods just based on what I've seen, and again doing those little experiments. I have 10 p.m. currently as the last time any listings get shared until 4 a.m. the next morning. So I like that it lets me choose. Although I will say, and this is my last favorite thing about the automation tool, is within those hours. So you say please share 400 listings between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. And within that time period, Primelister uses AI to actually choose when would be the best time to share those things. So it does that based off of activity and how many people are on the app at the moment. And then it also does it to protect your closet from oversharing. It kind of randomizes when and how you're sharing like a human would, rather than just looking like a robot, because ostensibly Poshmark doesn't like robots. With every previous sharing software that I've used, I've had that thing pop up where it's like, hey, you've shared too much, you're on a sharing pause, and that can last anywhere from like 5 to 20 hours, and which is obviously a huge setback for your business. You want to be able to share your listings or no one will see them. Ever since I've used the Primelister one, I've never actually had that happen to me again. So that pretty much sums up why I like using Primelister for both cross-listing and for the automation and sharing tools. If you aren't already using Primelister and you want to start, or you're just using half of it and you want the other half of it too, then please click the link in my description and that will take you to the homepage of Primelister where you can sign up for it. If you use that link, it helps support this channel. And if you do that, it'll give you some bonuses. Okay, so that is it for now. Click the link in the description if you want to try out Primelister, if you want to make your life easier. Don't we all? And I will see you all in the next video. Oh, hit like and subscribe. Right, YouTuber phrases. I'm getting back used to it. We'll see. Okay, go now.